My name is Lachlan Squires and I am a self-employed jeweller. Probably the main basic material I use would be beef bone, but I do a range in the pearl shell, power shell, whalebone, beef bone. Growing up I actually had no idea I was an artist, but it was something that, looking back now, I always had an eye for detail. At 12 I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and through that I was also diagnosed with chronic fatigue.
At that age of 12 we noticed things like he was really finding it hard to concentrate on his schooling. He found to remember facts a very difficult thing. I'd teach him one day, then the next day it was as if he just couldn't remember that.
Epilepsy had quite a bit of effect on me as well. It means you can't get any driver's license, you're not allowed to drive anywhere, so for me it restricted me from being able to drive or get a full-time job.
As a mum, it had affected me hugely because I see this young man, could be doing things with his life and could be going somewhere. So my husband thought, let's get him a hobby. Dad brought me a wee Dremel tool, and as just something to keep myself occupied in the free time when I wasn't up to doing anything. That's really where it really started from. First couple of pieces I did, I gave one of them to my mum. I was so proud of this amazing koru piece which looks like a terrible 6, and I had such pride over it. I said, "Here, Mum, I made this awesome carving piece," and she smiled inwardly and said, "Oh, thank you so much." And it was pretty bad to be honest. So yeah, my first attempts were terrible, but also quite treasured now because I know the value of the first pieces you do. Through friends and connections, I met up with a Cook Island artist, and I worked alongside him for 6 weeks, and that really lifted my skill from a really nicely finished carving piece to an international level. I really enjoy working with beef bone. I found that you've got quite a lot of scope and depth and 3D effects you can do with the material. The bone is quite a very raw product to start with, coming straight from the local abattoir, and then from there I get it processed in lukewarm water or cold water to start with, and let it soak for a day, 2 days, and then give it a clean, getting rid of most of the outside meat and all the inside material. And then from there I leave it in warm water with a little bit of bleach in it to help clean it and make sure it's sterile. After which I bring it out and it's all ready for the starting stages of carving. First off, I start with an actual idea of what I want to create, and do maybe a dozen different designs of each of the same piece but styled slightly differently. It goes on then to the starting of the carving stage where I design it onto the bone or the shell. Then I start with the scroll saw machine and cut out the shape. From there I work into the bench grinder where I grind off all the really thick rough edges and carving it down to a more of a shape that I can work with. And then I work into the hand carving stage of it where I've got a hand tool where I carve off all the different layers and really bring it down to a more of a finished carving product. And then I'm adding in all the details and all the motif meanings and designs. And I use a waxed polishing compound and polish the whole piece. And then the very last stage would be the tying the cord on and the signing at the back, hand sign each piece on the back. As of 2013, I went to a course called the Lightning Process, and from that 3-day course
I had 100% turnaround and was free completely from chronic fatigue.
And then as of yesterday, for the first time in 10 years, I've had a year and a half free of epilepsy.
To see him today, he's like a totally different guy.
And yes, there was definitely times I questioned my faith and questioned if God was real.
Being a Christian, I also know that I was able to go through that, and my faith brought me through those times of doubt and also depression and anxiety about the future.
He has been given a real gift. I just see the skill that he has achieved from here to here. It's just two different pieces of work. I think he can go far with it. I'm so totally supportive. I so totally believe in what he's doing. I'm excited about where it's going to take him.
It's been quite exciting to see the journey I've come from, and for me as a Christian, God willing, to see the journey that I'll continue to do with my artwork.